Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about two questions. Two very, very, very different questions that more than likely originated from opposite ends of the current situation, from different sides. But the answer is the same. And it's one of those things that seems very, very counterintuitive at first. It doesn't make any sense. Unless this is a subject you have studied intensely, or you were trained in it, you've read the manual, or you watched the playlist titled It's in the Manual. I'll put it down below. It just doesn't add up because it's not what you see in movies. The questions, they revolve around strategy when it comes to irregular conflict, unconventional war, low intent, whatever term you want to use for it. Big force, little force. It involves the strategy for that. The first question is, what on earth was the little force hoping to achieve? And then the other question is, why on earth would the big force show restraint? Because in a recent video, I said for anybody that was hinging their hopes on international pressure to restrain Israel, just because they snatched a bunch of people from a bunch of different countries, that's really unlikely. And there were a whole lot of people asking, why would they be restrained? Okay, so let's answer the first question first. What were they hoping to achieve? They wanted what they're probably about to get. They wanted a security clampdown. That's what they want. That's the job of the little force when applying this theory. The goal is to provoke the big force into an overreaction, into a security clampdown. Why? Because it makes sympathizers active and bystanders sympathizers. When you are talking about this kind of conflict, it is a PR campaign with violence, nothing more. It doesn't matter what flags you wrap around it. It doesn't matter how you church it up. That's what it is. So, anything that can be perceived as a security clampdown, as an overreaction, that generates sympathy for the small force. That's why generally you have people calling for restraint. This doesn't make any sense. For most people, when they first hear this, it doesn't make any sense because movies have told you the way you win is go in there and, knock people around. Here's a challenge. Show me when that's worked. Show me when politically realigning the small force, shifting it to a more political force through whatever means, doesn't work. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but give peace a chance when you're talking about this kind of conflict. That's how you win. And for the idea that massive use of force, and to understand how it works. If you're in the U.S., how did our revolution start? The Boston Massacre, right? It was a big catalyst. Overreaction, use of force. You're in Europe. Bloody Sunday. It's how it works. You can say that it doesn't make any sense, but I would point out that playlist is years old. And in the first few videos, it lays out the theory. You don't find exceptions to it. It's how it works. The goal of the big force should not be to crush the opposition. because that doesn't work. It doesn't work. The goal should be to bring them to the table, to bring them out. That does work. I would point out that when in Ireland, when they were brought to the table, is when things calmed down. The overwhelming use of force, it didn't work. It made it grow. That plays out pretty much everywhere. So they are probably about to get what they wanted. And all it does is create the next cycle. Because now you'll have new active people, new sympathizers. The playlist goes through the manuals. And to be clear, when I say manual, that's not a metaphorical thing. It's not a plot device. There are literal manuals. I give the numbers. And you can download them if you want to read them. I think when it started, I think we were talking about Trump dealing with this stuff up in the Northwest and how his use of force was going to cause it to grow. And then it did. And then they backed off. They talked to people and everything calmed down. That's in the early phases. But the same strategy gets deployed when things get way more serious. That's what's happening. So that's why there were a lot of people who want Israel to show restraint. The strategy of being cyclical and the responses, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't actually stop it. So they wanted what they're about to get. And one thing that I would like noted, because it's probably going to happen and it's going to be horrible, those who made that decision, those who decided to deploy that strategy, I'm willing to bet they're somewhere safe. That doesn't change. When you're talking about little force and big force, the little force leadership, most of them, those who are truly calling the shots, they're somewhere else. It's not going to be them. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.